just show up and absolutely clean house. The fact they won while he was having a little bit of an off performance also, I think, bodes pretty well for Hellraisers. Obviously, we're focusing fairly heavily on Hellraisers, so we're still trying to fill a little bit more time before this awesome grand finale gets underway. Let's switch to G2 one, Captain.
Yeah, sure.
Let's discuss their tactics, what you're expecting to see on the CT side first. Is there anything that steps out to you?
I mean, obviously, they're classically known to just be a very aggressive, very explosive team. A lot of, 1-4 fakes that they can throw in if they feel it's necessary. I've actually seen some really cool fakes from them on the B-bomb site in a couple of their games. So I don't know if they'll ever have to go to that, if they'll just be able to play simple, and that'll be fine. That'll be all they need. But I think they do have a couple of pages they can turn if need be to get rounds on the T side.
So it's hard to really iron out a single player to watch out for in G2, but on Cash, anyone in particular that you want to shine a light on?
Yeah, I want to shine a light on Apex, actually, because he's one of the few players that is able to solo rifle middle on CT side, which is a very difficult thing to do, but Apex really excels at it, and he's obviously their entry fragger on T sides as well, right? He's going to be opening up things across the map. So, outside of Shox, who I've already kind of highlighted quite a lot, and Kenny S's op is always going to be something that Action's built around. But yeah, Apex has a lot of responsibility, particularly on CT side, that is one of the most difficult CT positions to play, and he actually does quite well. So I will throw a little bit of highlight over to Mr. Apex.
All right, so we have the huddle. We've been informed that we're starting very shortly, guys. Just before, though, let's undone.
Just has to fold into place, and then that's the guy that you can expect will always perform. It's just about whether or not someone like Sticko, who can be really big, he's kind of the other aggressive rifler next to Angel on this map, or is he going to have a game like in the semifinals where he only dropped 3 frags, right? In that sense, it didn't matter because you had Dead Fox dropping almost 30 kills in the map, and so they wound up getting past Misfits no problem anyway. But that can't happen here against G2. Like, Sticko is going to have to be a big player in all of this.
Completely agreed. They can't rely on Dead Fox to carry that hard, because G2 will punish you. They absolutely will. And again, Dead Fox hasn't necessarily been a player that has been consistently hitting those highs. He's been very absent throughout this event. I'm very happy he did show up in Cash, because otherwise I think it would have been quite a disappointing one for him. But now he has another opportunity to just take over. We already saw an individual performance and a half from Shazam earlier with the AWP. Maybe this is Dead Fox's time to shine.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because both of these oppers are very B-heavy on the CT side, which you don't see that as often, like just oppers who really just play inside the B-bomb site like a good 80 to 70 to 80% of the time. So that they're kind of similar in that, right? And we may also see them take duels against each other if both of them decide to go B at the same time, because obviously you're going to move your AWP player around on T side. So it'll be cool to see if we see some head-to-head B lobby plays that may kick off rounds. Otherwise, they're probably not going to run to each other too much. If the T oppers, playing boosted or he's playing into the A site, you're not maybe going to see a lot of, op versus op battles. So it's going to rely a lot on the riflers to be able to break through the AWP at B or to find room somewhere else on the map.
All right, so we are still filling for a little while longer, Dust. We have been the fill master so far, so well played on that one. So let's move on to on the flip side then, when we actually have the Hellraisers on CT side as opposed to their T side. Is there anything that's going to shine for you on that one?
Yeah, we already talked about, Dead Fox being really B-heavy with the AWP, so he's going to be their primary player to be defending that side of the map. But it's also about the aggression, right? Both of these teams really are teams that are going to take fights. They're going to push you squeaky door. They're going to push you A main. They're going to play up close on middle, particularly the Hellraiser side. Angel and Sticko love playing these aggressive forward positions on middle. And so that means that you're going to see contests. If one team wants to get aggressive for mid control and try to go for that early, we're going to see some early round clashes, which means we're going to see a lot of fireworks. We're going to see a lot of action, and thankfully, I think we're about to go ahead and get into it right now as I see all the good luck, have funs going off in chat. The live has happened. We're 5 seconds away from getting this grand final started.
All right, ladies and gents, let's get hyped. We're about to start the grand finals between G2 and Hellraisers. It's been a while in the making, but here we go. Hellraisers, as mentioned previously, starting on the T side, and it's Dead Fox with a smoke and Molotov. And already pushing towards this A side of the map, Dust.
Yeah, it's a retake ace. setup here from G2, which is Apex spotting. It maybe pops off a couple, but he's really just looking to buy time for the retake to sit in. The smoke obviously is going to block him. He's trying to spam through, see what he can find. Does a little bit of chip damage to Angel, but the important thing is he stayed alive. He also does have the kit for his team, so that means that will help them in this retake, have that extra bit of time to try to work it out.
It is going to be a 10-player retake as G2 maneuver their way in. It's Apex with the kit, and as Smokey's just throwing that out over onto the site, try and take some of that vision away from Hellraisers. And well, it's not just vision, it's the life that Angel's lost. Angel is going to be put down alongside Dead Fox and Bondic, and already they're tapping onto the site. It's going to be a clean sweep for G2 as they push straight back on and get the defuse, and will claim the first blood in this best of 3.
Yeah, again, just playing that retake. A setup is very common to do on CT sides because it can get very dangerous when those pistols are closing the distance on that A side of the map, and they had that kit, so that gave them extra time to just kind of work it out as a team, rotate together. Some really nice shots here from Shox, no surprise there. Quite a versatile player, and the pistol certainly can be powerful from him, so they will go ahead and get the edge. But off the back of that bomb play, look at how Hellraiser already double AKing up. This is very aggressive economically.
Bomb plant and some kills. Gonna go straight in. Is this gonna catch G2 off guard? They are playing aggressively. Apex through onto main. Gonna use that smoke, a slight gap at the end, so we can see the footsteps. Or the feet, I should say, and hear the footsteps as they maneuver their way in. Stick already, plenty of mid control. Decides Betterovic going to join the rest of his team as they embark onto the B side of the map. And have a look at this though. Angel's managed to get himself all the way and lands the shot onto Body, who must be wondering what the hell just happened to him. And now Shox, who originally was hiding in checkers, is going to be forced. And Angel, the master flanker, puts 2 players down and now gives Hellraisers a real chance at clutching this out. Considering there's no nades and no kits for G2, will they even go for this? Yes, they will. And Apex loses his low point as a result. As the And Dead Fox living up to his name. G2 only losing Kenny S. They will be able to pick up his AWP. 3-1.
Yeah, you cannot undersell how much work Kenny S did. It's a B push. He's basically by himself at A. He's getting pushed by heavy numbers squeaky door, which is rare on rounds where there's guns involved, yet somehow he's able to pop off 2 from quad. That's actually very difficult, and that really helped out G2, as it is now up 3-1, and now finally Hellraiser has to tap out a bit here and just go on Glocks. Only Zero has gotten any purchase in here, and it's just the P250. Definitely a fair gun for 300 bucks, but there's not a whole lot Hellraiser's gonna be able to do in a round like this one.
Even a bomb plant would be a godsend at this point for Hellraisers. And really, at this point, G2 are playing this one solidly. They're not giving anything up. They're just sitting in position. They're using the weapons to where they're strongest, and that's at range. No need to go aggressive.
MBK in his position, the one that is named after him. He actually switched to B for a while because Body was playing over there with Shock. So getting back to home, at least in this round, as we do see Hellraisers finally making the decision to gather up here. But this should be basically a mop-up for G2 at this point, with just Glocks involved.
Ooh, Kenny. As soon as that door opens, you're expecting some bloodshed. And he will live up to that with 2 kills. It's going to be an eco. But it is a clear-cut anti-eco round. MBK on 1 health, doesn't care. It's 4-1.
So G2 starting to grab control of this first half, but we will see Hellraisers finally able to make probably one of the best buys they've had all game, considering some of the dice rolls they took early on. A little bit lacking for utility, and obviously no AWP involved, but still at least full rifles and armor. So we will see how they want to approach this, maybe slowing things down. This is basically their true default, but we're going to see Kenny S looking to get aggressive. He knows Bondic likes to play this door slowly, so he knows he has a little bit of time to just kind of chill out and wait for the opportunity to present itself.
A bit more aggressive this time around. Kenny's going to use his smoke to get into the boost alongside NBK. Nice work. It is a position you can't overuse, though, especially against Hellraisers.
It's also scary to do it the way that they did, because if Bondic heard that, that really just kind of gives you a lot of extra information when you do go for the A execute. And if they do come up highway, that's the one angle that's very dangerous to a player that's boosted up in the A-bomb site. And you do see Hellraisers getting a player boosted up here, and they could put some focus on that. So that's why I see a lot of people do the run boost early in the round. They try to avoid any noise cues to get that spot away. So we'll see if it factors into this round, as we are starting to get towards the late round, and we do see Hellraisers pushing up mid. There's no presence A anymore, though, so this may be more of a mid-B split at this point, as Angel will be the one to look to take first action here as he's trying to come up highway.
Yeah, you called it before, highway can be the counter to the boost, but Kenny S is watching it eagle-eyed. The sniper extraordinaire once again picking up the first kill for G2, alleviating some of the pressure. 20 seconds left, and Hellraisers don't even have that much information for their troubles. Body is getting burnt to a crisp, down to 22, forced out into the open. Will cost him his life for now. Let's have a look at Shocks. What can he get done? It's not even him that's required as Apex comes through with a quick-fire double, and that is going to secure the round. There's not enough time for Hellraisers to clutch this one out. G2 strike again.
Yeah, and you just see Hellraisers dropping down a couple of gears, going down to a slower pace again. They're going to change the pace through this half. That methodical approach, though, they just can't break all the way through B. And as you noted, the clock was kind of their worst enemy at that point, thanks to a big play from Apex. He was the main disruption to all of that. As now G2 up 5-1, and Hellraisers back onto a bit of a broken buy here, getting what they can. Obviously, Dead Fox did save that AK. They will buy around it a bit with Deagles, but no real commitment here. As Shox is taking it out to B, so something quite different. As that WWP set up that we know G2 for is already out and about, and Shox has first blood.
A solid pick at that. No retort, no retaliation was forthcoming by Hellraisers, and to make matters worse, their one AK has been tanked down. That's going to be 0, and he's on 18 health. Now Bondic probably is the favorite to take this AK as he has Kevlar. He currently has a Tech 9 and he's just chilling outside of A main, making sure no quick rotations and flanks are going to be imminent. Still a minute to play with. Hellraisers have only a flash in their back pocket.
And I think a bit of a curveball thrown at Hellraisers in this round.
And they did very nearly break the economy of G2 early doors after they picked up the pistol, and then Hellraisers came straight back with a force buy of 2 AKs. But since then, it's been all the way of the French.
Indeed it has. They're already just suffocating Hellraisers by pushing into A main and denying so much space that you would want in your default. To lose this much ground definitely hurts, but they're gonna go heavy squeaky door. Again, Hellraisers is one of the few teams that will do this on gun rounds. So they might bypass all of this, but not if they're losing numbers like that. That puts them at a huge disadvantage. And Kenny is able just to turn around and make things happen.
Again, 3 kills for Kenny. Preemptively going for the AWP through the smoke. If that had landed, the roof would have came off this place. But it doesn't matter because G2 are laying Hellraisers to rest once again. And Hellraisers have had no retort at all to this double AWP setup. They can't hang with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they tried to avoid the A main pressure by just coming out and flooding door, but the fact that there's nothing stopping Kenny S from just being able to turn around, there's no pressure he has to worry about. He's got a teammate with him, so he can just focus all his efforts onto the cross, into the site, and he absolutely delivers. Again, he is on point. He's had a great tournament already, definitely one of the MVP candidates for this event. And what can Hellraisers do to respond? Looks like they want to shift the pace maybe once more. This time with a focus towards B, but without an ideal buy to do it. Just the Tech 9.
A little bit.
Yeah, they haven't really had too many full buys in this game, to be quite honest. This is the first round that Dead Fox will have an AWP, so I feel like they've constantly had their backs up against the wall in regards to what they've had to work with in these rounds, and I think that's maybe playing in their heads as well. This, though, is their best opportunity to really construct a well-crafted round. They have everything that they could really want. As they will slow things down into a default to maybe give Dead Fox a chance to see what he can find. In the meantime, again, it's Shox looking to get aggressive over here towards Sunroom with his AWP. Kenny S boosted up on top of the site. Again, this is a very rare angle to deal with if you're Dead Fox slow peeking in, so that certainly could play into things.
He was here last time with a FAMAS, where he picked up 2 massive kills. This time it's the AWP. Shox playing aggro, throwing in the Molotov. It's not going to deter Zero that can just hop up onto the ledge, and he's A-okay. But again, they're sacrificing a lot of time, and Zero is going to get the kill onto Shox. That's a pretty big pick, one of the best opportunities they've had. But in doing so, they've lost a lot of health in Garage, and Sticko so close to falling down. You can see there, Angel partially coming in for that frag, and now he's going to go and try and make amends with 2 of his own, but it won't be happening. Apex shuts him down before he can get rolling. It's a 3-on-3, and Hellraisers still haven't really made inroads to either side. They're certainly thinking about B. They're starting to apply the pressure. Body is there, and Apex isn't too far away. Bondic now going to be coming in as the nades and the Molotovs force Body out of position once more. He doesn't care too much, though. He's still going to land the spray. And in the meanwhile, it's Apex again, who's just hiding in the smoke, biding his time and waiting. And just on time, he shows up. Zero falls alongside Hellraisers. 9-1 start on Cash.
It started so well for Hellraisers because Zero actually had a great play on the Shox. You know, Shox thought for sure that Sunrun was clear after he threw that incendiary and no one moved. So Zero played that well to get the pick. But then it's just a response from G2, particularly Apex, moving all across the map. G2 are just dominating the half at this point. Hellraisers are running out of rounds to get something going here.
It was Zico that said that his team don't rage at each other. They don't really have issues when it comes to tilting. These are the kind of times when that's going to be tried and tested. When you're being battered this hard. Again, I think that timeout probably just around the corner if Hellraisers continue to lose.
Yeah, you would certainly think so. I'm surprised it didn't happen after that round to kind of talk things through. But again, they'll just kind of slow it down. Play it a bit more default. Bondic coming into door as he usually would, setting up. So you do see them beginning to group up in A main as well. So it looks like they may just do some type of wrap on the A bomb site. Seems to be the way people are shifting. As Zero has even fallen off of B to go inside in mid garage. So yeah, it's definitely looks like they want to do some type of mid A split. They already actually have Angel pushed up the highway box, so they have a lot of space to work with.
Angel already in position, but they can't flush Kenny S out of his spot on A. So he's always going to be watching highway when they pull back like this. Apex is on the highway box to start things off. But as soon as he pulls back, Kenny S maneuvers. Already a player pushing out to the site. That's going to be Bondic. And it's going to be 2 kills coming in for the Hellraisers. Make that a third. Apex falls on Forklift. And it's Body and Shox who has that second AWP. And 20 seconds to try and fend off the plant. They're not going to be able to do that. Zero's already on default. And he will secure the bomb plant. Now G2, who are split up, are going to be conquered by Sticko. Body, 1 on 3. The hidden gem, as you coined him earlier. Well, let's see if he can prove to be just that with this massive clutch. He has a kit and he has a flash. The position has now been compromised as he goes for the spray, misses out, and Sticko will get Hellraisers a second round. Better late than never.
Yeah, nothing special there, just basically a typical A execute. Definitely helped out that Angel was able to cause a bit of a distraction, getting up highway for free. Didn't actually find any kills, but help open things up, and just good efficient trading from Hellraisers to break through quad, you know, limit MBK to just 1 kill and make sure that they were able to seal things down. So that is the second point on the board, as you mentioned, and now they have a nice buy here, full utility. AWP back in Dead Fox's hands to work with. G2 do rebuy up the double AWP.
Shox wasn't far off in that attempt. I think Sticko was coming through the garage, nearly lost his life in the process. It seems that Hellraisers, I mean, both their rounds have came off the back of mid-control.
Yep. And
so they're going for it once again. And no huge surprise, it's Angel who is first in. Now, typically, this is where Kenny S has been lurking, but he's actually looking through onto A main side instead.
Apex is playing mid very passively here, not from highway as you'd expect him to usually. He's playing from CTs, make sure they can't push through. Angel did do that on the second round, so it's just Body having the responsibility of watching highway from side. He's done well to get the first kill. Good counter nades being put in here as well, slowing things down. But now here comes Hellraiser looking to slice through. Great entry by Bondic to kick things off.
Preemptively going for NBK spot. Nathan's not home on this time of asking, but Body on quad gets forced out of position. Apex gonna try and make amends for his fallen comrades, but he will very much meet the same fate. NBK up on the cart, does spot a couple players crossing, but can't connect the dots. And it will be another bomb plant onto A. Ooh, NBK runs out of bullets. That would have certainly been a dead Sticko. Goes back in for seconds, does Dead Fox, but that's gonna cost him his life. And with Shox prowling over on the squeaky side, there's maybe a bit of hope. Now that his teammate has gone down, his tag team partner is no longer with us. This makes it so much more difficult for Shox, and, well, there you go. A perfect crossfire was established, and Hellraisers pick up a second consecutive round.
Just having a lot better luck trading their way into the A-bomb site, and again, mid-control really helping as well, pushing Apex back, not giving them space, opening up highway for them to use as part of the attack. Bondic being the big player here out of door, though, really helped push things through for Hellraisers. And so now they're finally showing us a little bit of life here towards the end of this first half. Just 3 rounds left to play. They've won the last 2 in a row. So they're finally starting to limit G2's money a bit, who keep buying these double AWPs. But look at Apex doing so much damage to that smoke to Sticko already. Just free damage, basically. As once again, Hellraisers are looking to control middle fast. This time, though, MBK and Apex are looking to contest it directly.
I like that G2 have changed their strategical play around as a result of this heavy mid presence. Now 2 players strong. Although Apex has been smoked out, it's going to be MBK who comes through with 2, and Bondik's been put in his place from Kenny S, who goes in for a second. Mid control firmly established. G2 will not be losing out the same way this time around. And it's going to take some kind of godly play by Zero if Hellraiser is going to pick up a 4th.
NBK was done letting them have middle there. Great to get that double kill from Highway Box. And yeah, Zero won't even have a crack at that one. Shock's there to greet him with the AWP. And so now it's 10-3. Great mid hold from G2. And now Hellraisers have to go back to the drawing board here.
Here's a play from MBK with his 2 kills. So important, so impactful. Question is, Hellraiser's now on a very low buy, just a deagle and a couple nades really with a P250. They just go all in on a rush. It's looking like they're going to start congregating around the A site with Sticko on Garage. But this should be a formality for G2.
You would think so, right? I mean, it's just 3 Glocks, so that 1 deagle, 1 P250. There's a flash and a smoke to help them get in. And again, pistols close to distance on quad can be difficult for Kenny S, but he's not going to miss.
So intelligent to narrow the angle. He knew a player went to his left-hand side, making sure it's not far to flick either left or right. I love that play. It seems so basic, but now the clarity of mind in that moment, so well done. And now G2, odds-on favorite to not just win this round, but keep all their weapons alive. Zero's deagle's not going to be successful. At least they have the bomb dust. I mean, that's like one of the only saving graces they could ask for at this stage.
Yeah, trying to get in, though, is going to be so difficult. That's going to some nasty 1Ds here, but Body is not going to allow that to happen. Posted up with the AK, pushing through both headshots. That's another round of the back for G2, up 11-3. They are storming through this first map of the grand final.
As a result of that eco, we are going to see a purchase in the last round. Interesting enough, Angel's gone for the timeout here in the last round.
A little late.
Yeah, I was thinking the same way. I mean, this is a tactical, so no technical issues. Shows the importance of, though, getting a 4th round. You know, it gives you a bit more of a foundation to build off if you win that second pistol.
Yeah, one of the problems that Hellraisers run into is the fact they had to commit so many resources to getting mid control due to how well MBK and Apex have played it, that it's kind of alleviated pressure off of Kenny S. It's freed him up to not have to worry about A main so much and be able to counter their highway push. Even if MBK goes down and Kenny S is there to follow up with the AWP, how many times have we seen Kenny S be able to just op people down highway? So that's definitely been one of the problem areas for Hellraisers. It's also just they haven't really been able to answer G2 when they've gone aggressive. When we've seen A main pushes, they haven't handled it very well. When we've seen G2 want to play middle and not play it passively, they've won those fights as well. So there really hasn't just been much going for Hellraisers. I mean, I know they have a couple of executes they can run towards either site with heavy utility that they have in their playbook, but I don't know if they're going to have the money for it. It is going to be the big thing. So people are going to have to make some sacrifices on maybe firepower to make sure they can get all the nades they want. They do have a couple of fakes in there. I mean, I know Apex is actually rotating pretty fast in these rounds, so maybe they could try to throw some type of fake if they realize, hey, Apex plays middle. We're seeing them be really fast whenever we put pressure there, so maybe they can try to think about doing that. But obviously, they're only going to have one more crack at this to get a T round in this half.
Using every second of their allocated tactical timeout to rummage together some kind of a master plan. Hellraisers have a full purchase, including a UMP and a Galil. They do have an AWP on Dead Fox and a couple AKs on Angel and Bondik, so it's a fairly solid purchase across the board. Again, though, these double AWPs have been a real pain in the backside. Their Achilles heel, not been able to deal with this at all. And Hellraiser's not really a team that you expect to see too many double AWP setups come from, even if they do have enough funds.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to buy everything that they basically can at this point. You do see Sticko taking a UMP to make sure that he can get a full set of nades. Same with Zero, really. He'll take a little bit cheaper gun in the Galil to make sure he can get a couple of flashes in the smoke as well. And so they'll have one last hurrah at this T side to see if they can fit one more round in before switching sides. As they will once again just open up fairly default here, about as basic as it gets for Hellraisers. So not really giving us any kind of tell on what they've talked about just yet. As again, Apex soloing with the rifle in middle. one of the few that can do this effectively. And he's definitely done it this half, hasn't he?
Oh, definitely. G2 have looked in fine form. Hellraiser's just not really been given a chance. Spread across the map to start things off. Now they're starting to move together as a cohesive unit. Angel looking like he may be going in first. kennyS has been here a number of times already. That smoke is going to force him into a standing position if he wants to see over the smoke. But eventually that is going to dissipate, and then Kenny's back into such a huge advantage. Second smoke will make him think twice, and now he's really leaning on NBK to watch the squeaky door as he's going to pick up the first kill. Nearly a second, but the bomb's also been dropped out into the open. kennyS on another tear, but Apex, the unsung hero of this A-hold, with a quick 2K of his own. Zero picks up the AWP from Dead Fox's corpse, and he's going to land the first one, but no more. 12-3 half for G2 in a commanding lead in this first map.
Again, it's just Apex being able to just drift all across the map and find really key kills to shut down Hellraiser. It's happened multiple times. It's happened on retakes as well. He's been a huge difference maker in this half for G2. Also, props to kennyS. He's been constantly punishing them from that boosted position. They've never really caught on to it. He used it several times to great effect, and now G2 have a fairly overwhelming lead at this point. 12-3. I mean, if you lose pistol, you're basically out of this game if you're Hellraisers. And again, it was their map pick. This is one they were confident on, and fair enough. We talked about how this has been a good map for them. It's a big part of their run at Starlighter where they got that, you know, top 4 finish. It's one of the maps that they've really been able to go to ever since they kind of let off the pedal on Cobblestone, which is kind of like the original map I feel like was powerful for them. So, you know, this is the map that they thought they had their best chance. We did see G2 struggle to close against Mouse, but there's been no struggle from G2 in the opening of this game as they'll switch sides. And again, basically a pistol round victory away from, you know, all but putting the final nails in Hellraiser's coffin.
Well, you brought up Cobblestone. That's going to be our next map. It's not going to get any easier for Hellraisers. G2, I mean, historically, a lot of these players have been solid on this for the longest time. Now, let's see. As you highlighted, Dust, it's pretty much pistol or bust for Hellraisers. They need this one desperately. Angel's going to go have a quick peek into A main. He's the player. Maybe they're going to rest on to pull out some kind of a massive rescue. Dead Fox again with the utility, a couple flashes and a kit.
Yeah, polar opposite approach here from Hellraisers on the pistol. We obviously saw G2 playing a retake A setup. This time they're putting 2 players there, and they're getting aggressive. They're looking for early information. As we do see G2 just holding a pattern right now. One is push door. They are starting to look into A main, so we could see a bit of a skirmish here if Angel keeps holding this angle. And he could really make or break this round depending on if he wins this duel or not.
Elsewhere on the map, Sticko has claimed the first blood on this half. Angel about to be swarmed by terrorists, and it shocks. That domes him with the Glock. Straight through onto the site. kennyS getting at the plant. Retake coming in for Hellraisers. In the first half, he had a retake with 10 players, which was successful for G2. Let's see if Hellraisers can bring this with 8 players remaining, 4 apiece. Bondic already low. A bullet will pretty much end his life, and Shox is going to go very much the same way. NBK with a deagle, chilling out in A main, has already landed 1. And they can't afford to push him too hard because they're not sure where the other players are on quad. But now that NBK's gone down, that opens the floodgates, and Zero gets 3 kills in about a second. Unreal retake from him. And Hellraisers have done it just in the nick of time.
Yeah, I mean, if you blinked, you would have missed that. Zero just absolutely pops off. That looked like G2 may have sealed it up. They were playing the round very well, really exploiting the way that Angel was playing the A-bomb site to get in there. But Zero just really makes a big play for his team. So props to him. He's kind of saved the day for now, at least in this map. At least giving his team a chance to try to see if they can creep back into this one. Obviously still, though, a very long road to travel.
Even in slow motion, that looked rapid by Zero. Excellent play. G2, of course, they're going right back in with a purchase. It's only Shox that's landed a kill. And this is one way that Hellraisers can claw their way back into it. If they can consistently keep G2 down. Apex, Tech9 with the bomb. He's going to be moving the same way. that all his team have died on, and he's going to follow the same path. 12-5. Hellraisers will be up against an eco.
Yeah, so they've taken those first steps. You know, they've avoided any type of reset early in the half. They should be well on their way to the 3-0 start. You know, halving the lead that G2 had against them whenever we switched sides. So these are some good initial signs, but again, we're still a long way off of seeing whether or not Hellraisers can play their way back into what has been a very dominant map so far from G2. As they will just be on a Deagle and a P250, a few Glocks, nothing really to speak of. Already taking a massive amount of damage from that nade on the boosted box.
Well, that is going to leave a mark. Shock's already down to 14. MBK, who was boosting, he's being the good guy. The teammate gets a nade on the head as well. Still, though, when there is Deagle in the hands of Shocks, you can't take this round lightly. Another nade goes through over on boost. This time they've moved out of position. It's not going to do any damage. And now it's G2's turn on the T side to play it slow and just hope that Hellraisers make a misstep and give them a gateway into this round. And Hellraisers seemingly shutting that door in the face. Sticko and Zero both with their UMPs are doing a ton of damage, and Zero's going to whip out the Tech 9 to use it against the oncoming terrorists. MBK jumps up, gets knocked down by the MP9 in midair. Hellraisers, another round to them, a 6th on the board.
But here comes the real test. G2 going to be able to get their full buy-in. Again, I'm really hoping we'll get to see some early round clashes at middle, particularly since Angel and Sticko like to play up front there. We know that G2 can go for the faster mid control. So we might see some, you know, Apex butting heads with Angel, for instance, over here in middle. As what does G2 want to go to on their first T round? Looks like they're just going as default as it gets for them. Shocks at home and door, MBK playing outside over here towards B. With Apex, actually.
It's going to be a counter boost. Angel up. Bondic down. Kenny S will get traded out, but it is a solid pick. Angel just making sure that there's no more terrorists that are primed in position to go for an A main hit. He has taken damage, now he's on the wrong side of the wall. He could get picked off here, and indeed he will. It's Apex that reigns in with the AK. It feels like a bit of a needless death though there, Dust. They got the 1-for-1 trade.
It's like he was trying to grab a gun and just got caught out because Apex swung around the truck. So at that point, he felt like, oh, I just got to push and fight. Now I'm stuck here. Does not work out. Now in a 3-on-3, Body trying to clear out the vents will get the job done. Shocks as well, finding a pick on the A side of the map. And so the defense of Hellraisers has absolutely fallen apart. And so this bomb will be able to make it into A uncontested. And now Zero has so much against him here. He's in a 1v3. He does have a kit. He does have time, but this is a lot to ask of the man.
Well, in terms of their funds, Bondic's currently on 2.6k, so although Zero's on 10,000 and can easily replenish this weapon, you're in a 1-on-3, your chances of clutching not looking too high. It looks like he is going to go for a cheeky peek and see what he can get done. But chances somewhere between slim and nothing. Flashed out of position, going to move in for the save, but he is being wrapped around from the flank and tagged up from behind as well. That nade is looking like it could have landed on the feet of Shocks, but a little bit too shallow in the end, and Shocks will put Hellraisers in their place. 13-6, we will have another buy though from the CTs.
Yeah, of course, the story of the first half was the fact that Hellraisers could never really handle G2's aggression on the CT side or the double op setup for that matter. We know that Hellraisers also on their CT side like to get assertive, particularly a player like Angel, but G2 handling it very well on that round. So that will put them a bit more forward as we do have Hellraisers, like you said, with that money stored up, still able to buy this round. But if G2 can take this one, now all of a sudden Hellraisers in a really shaky place when it comes to money going forward. They'll just have to force buy what they can, basically, and it'll be very low buy. So this is really their best chance to get back into this map. It has to happen here, and they have to streak together rounds in a row, and they need to do it clean. So there's a lot they have to accomplish to make it easy on themselves on this comeback effort.
Now goes Sticko. And man, Hellraisers need to employ someone to just stand behind Zero and massage his back, because it must be killing him. 17 kills to Zero, nearest player on his team's on 8. By far and away leading the charge. And G2 having no chill as they put down players over and over again. With Sticko's death, this leaves a gaping hole on the A defense, but they are going to have a wraparound from Carr. And meanwhile, Angel's going up for the boost, but MBK, he's read the script. He's a couple pages ahead of Hellraisers, and that gives him a 2-player advantage as they just charge straight through to the site. Apex with another one. I make that an extra.
The gloves are off for Apex right now this game. He has been fantastic on both sides of the map now. And yeah, just good read by MBK. I mean, realizing that's the luxury that having a man advantage gives you, is that you can be a bit more cautious on some of your players to make sure that you're not getting flanked, to make sure everything's going to go according to plan. And that was the one way back in that Hellraisers had, and it gets shut down. And so Zero, again, just left trying to save a gun. Obviously, G2 will chase after this. They know the money is tight for Hellraisers going forward. So they want to make sure they take everything out of their hands as much as they can, as Zero has a lot to save here, but can he hold on is the question.
About to get pushed by 2 players on his right-hand side. There's a first frag. That's going to keep the weapon alive. Solid work. Looking at the funds, Zero can drop 1. Sticko's on 5k. Bondic and Angel both on 3k. So they are going to go for a purchase. It's going to include some UMPs. And as a result of this save, Dead Fox is afforded an AWP. And instead of going for a second UMP, they go for the FAMAS. So Hellraisers have a decent enough buy all off the back of that save.
Yeah, Apex has that rep when he's in form. His first bullet accuracy can be so sick, and that's what you saw there that round. This time his body's showing it off as he's just plowing through middle on a solo effort. Angel does stuff him a bit, but there's Apex again following it up. And again, they're going to get a lot of presence towards this A side. Only one player here. He's so isolated. He's stuck at forklift. He's got no rotation en route, and Apex continues to put bullets between people's eyes.
Zero and Sticko pretty much going to stack together and hold the phone for a second, because G2, if they move into this, they could be walking into an ambush. Sticko is going to give that away with the kill, but he'll take that frag, and MBK will return fire with 2 of his own. Zero not on point this time. 15-6, 9 map points. Hellraisers with a mountain to climb.
Yeah, it's just one of those nightmare situations for Hellraisers where everything is clicking for G2. G2's playing really well as a team. They're playing off each other. Even just that one maneuver in checkers where you have the vent pressure coming in to give MBK a chance to slide it and take him out. Just setting up little baits like that. It's been huge stuff. And now it's all come down to this. And Body, is he really going to do it again? No, he's not. But it doesn't matter because they're still finding all these entries all across the map.
Well, the beginning of the end for Cash. Hellraiser's choice of map. Eyeing up the cobblestone, which is up next. Shocks putting them one step closer. And now Angel and a UMP to save the map for Hellraisers. Moving into position. He's been caught from the backside. And Shocks trying his best to dance his way out of trouble. But Angel's not able to get it done. G2 will claim the first map in this best of 3. And it was quite the effort. Hellraisers never looked in it.
No, it was just another day in the office for G2. It looked like they had no problems. Yeah, there was a little bit of a scrappy start to that, you know, where they were kind of trading rounds at the very beginning, particularly that Hellraisers 2 AK buy in the second round that let them break through. You know, Angel getting that flank through CT spawn that got him around early to start playing back into it right away. But there was just a certain point where, you know, G2 grabbed the reins of that game. They never let go. Their CT side was on point. They were able to run the double AWP. They were able to be aggressive. Hellraiser's never able to get responses to that on a consistent basis. And then when you swap sides, I mean, again, it was G2 handling Hellraiser's aggression just fine. They never really got caught out by it. There was never really much going for Hellraisers at all. I mean, G2 didn't really have to turn very many pages in the playbook. They just played basic defaults, won their picks all across the map. I mean, what can you do if you're Hellraisers at that point? I mean, there's really nothing there for them.
Well, I completely agree with that assessment, but let's head over to the desk and see what the analysts have to say. Take it away, Paolo.
Thanks, guys, for that. G2, dare I say, looking like the G2 they might well be in the near future. They still have to win at least one more map, though. They have to get 2 to take this best of 3. It's pretty difficult to analyze maps like this that are so one-sided. I mean, Jacob, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, there was just the Kenius show. Like we talked about Kenius before the game, and he is an insane AWPer, and he did what Kenny S does this game. Like, he was aggressive, he was passive, he was always taking 1 or 2 down, or 1 or 2 kills when they hit a side. And when you play against the Kenny S in this form, it's so hard to do anything. Like, he really didn't give Hellraisers a chance to enter a bomb site. It was not like we saw a lot of close rounds. There were so many one-sided rounds, and it was mainly down to Kenny S and Apex just locking down the sides and missing with Hellraisers.
There's a couple of things you could highlight. One is that after Hellraisers won the second round of the half, they could have been taking the driver's seat, and we could have potentially seen a bit of a different first half, but unfortunately they lost a round after that. And I think also Apex needs to get some praise, because we saw before the finals that he's definitely not been up there in his top potential, but in this game he was doing a phenomenal job on both sides, actually, being a rotation, going through smoke, timing it perfectly when his teammates were in trouble. For example, in B-bombs, that Buddy was on the side, he was getting pressured, he died, then Shox was on all the further back on the site. I think they got like 1 kill on between Buddy and Shox, but then Apex coming in through the smoke, helping his teammates getting the kills as they were initiating to the bomb side was the big kills to win that round. So yeah, overall very one-sided affair, obviously, but there's again, we saw a really aggressive G2 as well, taking a lot of initiative, and yeah, like Jacob was saying, a big part of it was Kenny just maneuvering around the map and taking a lot of the early picks and keeping the man advantage in the side of G2.
We have about a minute left before we have to head to a break. What was missing on the side of Hellraisers to finish us off, Pimp?
A counterpart to Kenny S. Like, Deadfox has had the worst stats of this game, you know, and that can be against the Kenny S who's showing up this big. So Deadfox needs to step it on Cobble. I think we saw him play Cobble earlier today, and he was doing well. So there's still potential there, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Cobble now.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got out up there by Kenny, 100%. That was a little game inside the game that I was talking about, and Kenny won nothing right now, 100%. Cobble, again, I don't think it's definitely not the better maps for HR, just because of stylistically it doesn't really fit them that well. On the other hand, if the guys from G2 keep on playing as they have, I think this will be a handily 2-0 for them.
Thank you very much, guys, for that. Summing things up very nicely. Will we see a resurgence from the Hellraiser? They'll have to do it if they want to take this to a third map and have a chance of winning. However, if it goes in favor of G2, they will be our champions. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you after a very short break.
immediately. And we even saw just G2 absolutely blast them at Starlight on this map in the group stage. It was a 16-2 win for G2. And after what we just saw on Cash, you almost have to begin to wonder if we're about to see a very one-sided grand final if Hellraiser doesn't start waking up. Outside of Zero. Zero was there. He's probably wondering why ain't nobody helped me in that game. Like, I'm trying. Can someone else please? Like, please help me. So we'll see if he's going to get it from somebody on this team, because obviously there's several players on Hellraisers who should be able to support him better now.
Yeah, I mean, at one point he was on 17 kills. Everyone else is around 8 kills. You know, just no help whatsoever. And especially on Cash, when you have a full G2 team pushing your area, there's only so much one guy can do, even a guy on form. Dead Fox, again, I highlighted him. I said, is he going to show up Cash? Didn't really have an opportunity to, in all honesty. Their economy was never in a great shape, so they didn't have that many ops on their side. And they did struggle as a result. The double op setup for G2 was far too strong for them. And Cobblestone, I just don't see things getting any easier. But maybe some of the pressure's off them now, you know, after getting taken to pieces. Now they're just like, okay, guys, come on, let's do this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where both teams like to be very aggressive, but only G2 was successful with it when it came to the CT sides. It was such a G2 team that was firing on all cylinders. They really didn't have anything going wrong. Everything was going their way. They were getting everything they wanted. Everything was just fine and dandy, right? They never really met any true resistance. Meanwhile, Hellraiser could never really get much going outside of those first few rounds in the first half. And so they have a lot of work to do now, because you're going up against G2 on one of their best maps. Not only with this lineup, but the roots of this team, you know, have always been very good on this map. And again, they have the head-to-head result against Hellraisers offline not so long ago, where they absolutely blasted them all over this map. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of weight on Hellraiser's shoulders at this point now.
Well, if they don't improve leaps and bounds for the neutrals' perspective, this is going to be a disappointing final. I mean, there's no two ways about it. That first map was over before you really knew what hit you, and this map could go the same way. So let's hope that Hellraisers have awoken a little bit and do make a real go of this. But we are just about to jump in to the second map of this grand finals. Cobblestone coming up, and if Hellraisers can pull the rabbit out of a hat, the final map will be Train, where I still don't think things are going to get that much easier for them.
No, probably not. Like I said, at least Hellraisers, they have some familiarity with Cobblestone. Like I said, it used to be a map that was great on them, but they're going to get G2 on their T side first. We know how explosive they can be and how successful they're at being assertive in the previous map. So Hellraisers are going to get tested quite a lot right off the bat. We do see Angel poking and prodding here at Long A for some information. D2 not giving him any. They're just held back with that bomb, not allowing Angel to pick up on what's going on.
Bomb still over on the mid side. Have a couple players on B plat as well for G2, so they can sell this fake. Also waiting to make sure that none of the CTs push their way around B plat and start to get some vital information. But almost a stalemate standstill. We're going to see some action right here, right now, as Angel threads the first kill, piercing Body's forehead. And he wants some more before he inevitably falls without 4 health. Sticko's missed a few opportunities, and down he'll go. Apex gets the double on the already weakened Angel. And now Bondic and Zero step up to the plate, and at least dish out a couple of kills of their own. Caught in the backside is Apex. He tries to move down into mid. Kenny S is going to finalize the bomb plant, so at the very least there's some economy ticking over into the next round. Has a P250, no Kevlar, which could be an issue. And both the players going to push him simultaneously. Well played by Hellraisers to claim the pistol. Yeah,
bringing that back nicely. It looked pretty dangerous there for a moment when Apex was popping off once more, really opening up that A-bomb site. Great pressure thrown initially at B to kind of hold people in place. And Apex just clears things out. Looked like he had it in the bag, but a great recovery. It was almost a team effort from Hellraisers. Almost everyone pitched in there except for Sticko. So putting a point on the board early, definitely a nice sign. But as you noted, that bomb plant comes in, and that means that you're going to see a super raid boss in MBK. Again, AK head armor, not even just a Tech 9. So they're going to have some firepower right off the bat, but great catch by Sticko on the shocks.
Again, though, it is more of an interference play than anything else. The bulk of G2 now moving into drop. And I was going to say it should be a massacre, but Body and Apex come out swinging for 2 kills. That's going to open up B nicely. And MBK is still rattling off shots with the AK-47. Will go down finally. Sticko will land his man onto Body. And now one-on-one. The HP advantage firmly in favor of Bondic. That's slightly behind in terms of the weaponry, and it will get the headshot. It is at the cost of 4 lives, though. So that CT's economy does take a bit of a hit. Unfortunately, though, for G2, they didn't get a bomb planted.
Yeah, they kind of fell apart. The guy got stuck in the corner with the bomb, didn't actually go inside the site for the plant. I guess just, you know, looking for the frag, and then obviously Apex gets caught reloading basically on the statue. So there was a couple of things that if G2 hadn't messed it up, they probably win that round. But as you noted, at least getting a lot of damage done, forcing a lot of rebuying out of Hellraisers, which means that there's definitely blood in the water, and G2 smells it, so they're going to go ahead and buy up again with the Tech 9 and head armor. Look to see if they can't keep the money low on Hellraisers, perhaps even steal a round away. That last one was pretty close.
Yeah, it sure was. That's 2 rounds in a row on top of it, where it has been 1 player left alive for Hellraisers. And here come G2, except, actually, pardon me, it was 2 in the pistol round, but just 1 in the previous. 0 in Chicken Coop may not be required if Dead Fox continues to apply the pressure. Finally, it's 0's time to shine, and he will put down G2. And this force buy simply has not really yielded anything. They're going to go back for the boost. It has failed, and now they're going to get aggressed on as Apex is going to pick up only the 1 kill, and that's all they will get out of this round. 3-0, much better start for Hellraisers.
Yeah, they fend off all of the force buys there, and they wind up with the 3-0 start, but now we're going to see the true test coming in for Hellraisers. They're going to be up against full buys now from G2. I'm really curious to see how these battles go out on B. Obviously, prime real estate, you know, shots on the master of the B platform going to be going against 0. We actually do see G2, though, having to take a lower buy now because they put so much in those last 2 rounds. They actually didn't have enough to really get the buy that they wanted here, so they will actually take a deco. Straight up deeks across the board.
It's been a while since you've been able to use a phrase like that. The good old deco. It has a lot of power in it, especially behind G2. But with this investment, similar to the last round, it's starting all the way of Hellraisers. And BK looking to traipse his way out the window. Just about a couple pixels away from connecting, but Bondic will get the upper hand. Eviscerating MBK. Now Dead Fox in prime position to strike again with an M4A4. The perks of having the extra 10 bullets, you could spray for a little while longer. And again, it is a clean sweep for Hellraisers.
Yeah, so getting off to a great start here, which is exactly what they need given what we just saw on Cash. But now G2 are going to be able to start putting things together. After that deco, they will have the AWP in Kenny's hands. They have AKs across the board. Full utility, so they'll be able to work things out. They'll go to a 1-4 setup right away. No surprise, it's one of the classics for this team. Shock's going to be that guy over there, solo B, just trying to put as much pressure as he can by himself, giving his team time to work against just the initial defenders with no rotation coming over at middle and long A. Try to see if Kenny S can't find something with that AWP or if Apex can't find something with that rifle.
Hellraisers so far have been efficient on their CT rounds. We'll be looking for more of the same. They are down an AWP compared to G2. There's still plenty of firepower and nades left on the table. Looking for a couple of smokes to land on the B side as they go for the peak. Sticko can count himself lucky he didn't get picked off on the cross there with a nade out, and is actually able to thread a couple of kills together, maybe even a third. And the bomb also dropped on Stables. Will be coming through for another one. Runs out of bullets. We're going to switch to the Tech 9 anyway, and the AK-47. And this should be the round put in its place, and Hellraiser's taking a solid lead. Shocks alive and kicking, only for a few more moments, as I think Kenny got a Molotov kill from the grave. That doesn't change the scoreline. And Hellraisers, this is exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah, really well done. Sticko steps up huge there to defend that big push out of long A. Comes up massive. Several frags on the round here with the M4, so definitely holding things out and putting that 5th round on the board for Hellraiser. So G2 still yet to find anything in this, and now they're back to a low buy once more. So now it's Hellraisers off to the roaring start this time around. So they'll be able to hopefully, you know, start saving money now as well, start getting some clean wins just to have money for a rainy day in case G2 does start striking back. First kill goes their way once again. Has been a reoccurring theme
Apex from danger. And he's going to take a nade. Down to 63. A quick trip onto B plat has been stifled by Dead Fox, just tapping away through the smoke. Stick up on boost, good for 1 kill. And G2 haven't really shown too much so far on this cobblestone T side. They are certainly struggling to keep their heads above the water.
Yeah, they're doing well. Sticko usually playing over towards the B bombs, actually playing A quite a lot in this game. I guess it's because Dead Fox is, who can kind of rotate from this side, is actually holding out at B a lot lately. And so Sticko's really stepping up on that A side, particularly the 1 gun round we've seen, as they will clean things up and get a 6-0 start, but G2 will now have their second bye of the half. We'll see if they can fare a bit better, as of course they had that 1-0 lead in the series after a blistering start on Cash. But they are off to a rough patch here right now as Hellraisers are looking to fight back in this series. They will once again just go on the single AWP setup here. Don't really have the money to go for double op, but you could see that at some point. Again, they favor it.
Hellraisers already equalizing their grand total of rounds for Cash. Looking good in the early stages of Cobblestone. Sticko, first kill. Shox is looking for that pixel. Just the head is all he requires to take it clean off the shoulders of the CTs, but he will actually go down that very same way. Bondic hiding in the shadows of the smoke. He's going to come through for another kill on this bomb. In the hands of Kenny S, he's got to take down 5 players. Otherwise, this buy has been for nothing. And Sticko comes through. It is going to be a tactical timeout, and G2 must be wondering, what?
Yeah, they just got shut down again. I mean, they got shut down on their 1-4A, and now you have Shox trying to make one of those plays he will make sometimes on the platform when he just wants to take the game into his hands and just be the playmaker, and he just gets shut down. He couldn't find anything. He was trying to get those shots like you know, trying to get that pixel headshot, never found it. Did get taken down. His team crumbled as well. Even a player sneaking into the smoke at Broken Wall, backstabbing them at one point. And so this is a whole new look for Hellraisers. Whatever was going on last map, they seem to have waken up in a big way. And so yeah, G2 are left scratching their heads right now. And again, they've only had 2 full buys this half, so it's not as if things are that crazy. But again, being down 7-0, certainly not a great place to be in.
Body language not looking too great for G2, understandably.
And they don't seem too rattled, just kind of chill and just calm. They know that they have the safety net of winning the first map. They know they still have plenty of rounds left in this half. Just trying to figure out what they want to go towards.
Again, though, I do feel there's more pressure on G2's shoulders being in front of a French crowd. The fact that Hellraisers, this is their first LAN finals together as this roster of this magnitude for sure. And after getting pasted so hard in that first map, I mean, as I said at the time, maybe this is their moment to just go, okay, guys, look, we're the underdogs. We're probably one of the dark horses coming into this tournament. Most people expected like G2 and RV to win. We've made the finals. Let's just see how far we can go. There's no pressure on our shoulders anymore. And you are seeing a reinvigorated Hellraisers come out for this half. G2 just got nothing to stick thus far.
Yeah, just putting a lot of focus on B here. Actually have a AAA set up from Hellraisers, so they're really looking to make sure that any type of heavy presence by G2 at A, which they like to do, is going to be directly contested, but it does leave B a bit more vulnerable. If G2 decide to pounce on B fast and break through this initial defense to rotate so far away for Hellraisers.
I like that Zero held off on the idea of spraying back through that smoke. Because at that point, they may think that he's in the alcove. They go for the Molotov anyway, not taking any chances. See what he was going for on that one. A lot of players are just blind fired through the smoke. Either way, G2 starting to get some kills on the board, finally. Maybe this is their moment to start striking back on Cobblestone T side. Kenny S gonna go through for the plant. Still 2 mollies in play, so they can cordon off a couple of these areas. And Hellraisers, already with 2 players at T spawn, they're gonna have a boatload of cash. But it's still not worth burning that money when you could save it for the next round.
It's just kind of one of those things in the rock, paper, scissors battle where G2 throws rock and just threw scissors, right? I mean, they're way on the other side of the map. Apex able to swing through drop-down room, completely tear B apart, rotates nowhere near in place. And, you know, 3 just is forced to save at that point. It's one of those rare occasions where you just have to kind of fold. Don't even have a way to play back into the round. So G2 will finally put a point on the board after a huge start from Hellraisers. And now what can they work off of? It's going to be the question.
much to the delight of the crowd, G2 have got themselves on the map. 1 round in. A couple weapons were saved. Pretty solid digits behind Hellraisers 2, as you'd expect after such a lead. So they can dip right back into their bank and come out fine. I mean, he's still got 15k plus on Dead Fox. So they're good for another couple purchases, regardless of what happens. Yeah, it's a long climb.
Yeah, they're well away from forcing Hellraisers to a save at this point. They're gonna have to win a couple more in a row. You're gonna see Dead Fox looking to get aggressive, gets a nice hit there, almost gets the frag. That was very close.
1 health on Apex.
Look at MBK though, just so quick on this follow-up.
He'd have fancied him to have landed that one for MBK. And down he goes, and now the Molotov gonna force out in position. Fortunately though, for Shox, there's a flashbang that landed in the eyes of Dead Fox, allowing him to relocate out onto the B platform. Some damage has been inflicted, and Alkenius is gonna come straight through and put that AK-47 in the face of his adversaries. Downside for G2, collectively they have 12 health, but they're gonna make it work for 2 kills as body lands both onto Dead Fox and Angel. Stico now has to try and quite literally come through the fire and the flames to clutch this one out. Throws the molly onto B plat. No one's home. They've gone for a boost on Tree, and G2 have pulled it off with such a slither of health. A huge round.
They had such a great entry, but things got so chaotic for them. I mean, everyone from Hellraiser started pitching in and finding kills and slowing G2 down. And in a 2v2 where G2 has 2 players on very low HP, Body finds a way to find the key kills to put it through. Well crafted by Body, just some nice aim there. What a round from him. He's also had a great tournament for this team, if we're honest. He's looked so much better in this version of G2 than the one in the summer of last year. So props to him. I know he had a tough time at Austin, but this event he's been excellent.
Yeah, I feel like it just comes down to comfort for him, you know? Going back into positions that he's happy in. 0 with the first. I'm just gonna try and put a stop to this comeback train before it gets rolling. To rail the juggernaut that is G2. And not a bad first pick. Shox falls by the side of round 10.
That's a key piece off the board. Again, Shock's one of those guys who's just so good at capturing platforms, so to be able to take him out's great. Body, a little bit of a fight here with Dead Fox. It takes a lot of damage, but is able to get out of there. So G2 still can try to see what they can do with their 4 remaining players. We're gonna see a boost over the smoke. Kenny S gonna, oh, just misses. That would have been devastating.
So both Orpers have had a golden opportunity to claim a kill. It would seem that Hellraiser is in prime position to pick up an 8th round as the flashbangs are being traded in mid. Stico can't see a single thing, but no one's pushing him. And he has his Guardian Angel behind him anyway. Kenny S and an Orp in another 1-on-5. This time he doesn't have control of the bomb. And Angel is there to strike once again, reclaiming their winning ways.
Yeah, most of the time, Hellraiser has done very well holding this B platform and even taking picks into long B and really disrupting G2. Not giving them a lot of space to work with. Just those couple of rounds that they won, obviously. Other than that, though, Hellraiser has done great on the defense. And money is obviously low for G2. They'll buy up all that they can this round. Obviously, MBK, though, just going to be on the Deagle. And if they can't win this round, they probably can't buy in the next. So this could be where Hellraiser gets off to a roaring start. But Apex trying his damnedest to ensure that won't happen. A great pick on the Dead Fox right away. They try to move his op in a different place and does not pay off.
Yeah, last round was peaking. Oh, they're going to line up for Angel, and he so nearly knocks them down. Just a couple millimeters away from causing real havoc on long. Instead, G2 have the player advantage. They are going to try their luck with Stico coming around the backside, but Shox is up to the task.
Big catch.
Huge catch, yeah. He comes out second best there. They have to be very cognizant of a flank. And it allows Hellraisers to then put both their players on A.
He can pull or rotate, or he can just flank connector and really make this a lot easier to capture the A bomb site. So Hellraisers are going to have to gamble. They'll just stack A together with 2 players. But as more time passes, that sense of doubt rings in that maybe they're transitioning this bomb away. And so that forces them just to try to take a dice roll. Unfortunately, it's the wrong one. And G2 take a free B bomb site now. They'll plant. And I mean, this round's pretty much done.
Mindset for Hellraisers. We live together, we die together. You either want to save those weapons, or we get pushed on A and try our best to make it happen. And Kenny S, he's been here before. He's been around the block a few times. He knows what's coming up against him. waits for the long push. And we'll get one. If Zero falls, there's going to be a pretty big body blow. And instead, he actually takes down the AWPer of Kenny S, and will go down afterwards, but it is damage done to both teams' economies. And of course, G2 not in a great shape themselves. They're so slow clap with baguettes. Why not?
Why not? Exactly what we wanted here. Just great work by Shox, really. I mean, catching that rotation. I mean, on Apex, though, the initial presence at A is what forces to B rotate. Then when Shox catches that last player, the failsafe, the flank, that changes everything. As Apex continues to wreak havoc on this map. That's a Dead Fox down again. That's twice in a row now. He's won the opening duel against Dead Fox within the first few seconds of the round.
Already been knocked down to 1 health 3 or 4 times in this best of 3 too. He will not go down without a fight. MBK landing the headshot, demolishing Stico and this B defense. Zero in the most forward position on the rock, hoping it'll be a Sanctuary. Very nearly a second kill, which would have turned the tides of this round. Considering that Apex, of course, aforementioned 1 HP, and Shox just on 34. Kenny S missing his opportunity. Does get some information, though. And now the double molly stack means Bondic cannot get anything done, and G2 will claim another round.
Again, it's just Apex causing so much pressure early in these rounds. That's the second in a row, again, that he takes out Dead Fox right away, and that forces the CTs to scramble a bit. It lightens the defense on the B site, makes it a bit more vulnerable. Getting to that soft underbelly of Hellraisers at that point, and G2 have done well to capitalize on that, as this is another round on the board for them. Now 2 in a row. They've won 4 out of the last 5. They've reset Hellraiser's economy, and now they're starting to drain those funds on Hellraisers, and that's why you're seeing them really need to carry these guns over, because it's going to be difficult to construct some full buys going forward in this half the way things have played out lately.
Here's the MBK 1 tap. Stico didn't know what hit him.
It's one of those things where what do you even do if you're Stico there? There's absolutely nothing he could have done. We saw it from his perspective when it was live, and it looked just as nasty from the other perspective.
So double up stuff came into play. First time we've seen this for Hellraisers.
Yeah, not one that does it too much, to be quite honest. Certainly Cobblestone's a map where you see some teams be able to put it to use. So we'll see if that's the change they need to make things happen.
Angel was asking a lot with such a small gap on the wall there, plus the Molotov, which is skewing his vision a little bit. Goes back in for seconds, misses. Won't be punished with his life, but 2/3 of his health have evaporated. Looking to cool down a little bit. Can flow out of long A and get some kills. Again, missing. Flashes are wrecking him. Stico up to the plate, but he's also burning to a crisp, and Kenny S takes him down. A comedy of errors on long could cost Hellraisers dearly as they put so much into this round in terms of finances. Bondic finally fires back and gets something done for Hellraisers, and a second. So this round hasn't quite came and gone just yet. They're in this one, and Bondic is just on a tear. Spraying up through stables, very nearly claims another kill into Apex. And there we go, Bondic is absolutely running amok. He gets taken down. But the damage he's inflicted on G2 could be fatal. Shock's gonna take the open, a 1-on-2, and just make a beeline for the B site. CTs are spread up here and both looking over on the A play, but Dead Fox close to maneuvering himself onto the B side.
Ooh, I like that. He did a sound cue to maybe try to fake that he was going drop-down room, so this could catch Dead Fox. Look at him, he's worried about window. Just a little small detail that gives Shox a bit more breathing room, and look at the result from it. He's gonna get in, he's gonna get the plant just in time.
Unbelievable. Dead Fox will be feeling sick to his stomach. And Zero's not gonna be feeling too much better about this. Now Shox, with a Molotov, can play position. And of course, with such an aggressive play, he's gonna go in! Oh, what a flick that is onto Zero! A masterpiece of a play! And G2 have picked up a 5th round out of nowhere.
One of the best men in the business when it comes to clutching. Again, just those fine details. He throws in those little curveballs. He really rattled Dead Fox with that sound cue. That was so well done. Absolutely blindsides him. fantastic. I mean, Bondic did so much work to reel that round back in for Hellraiser, only for Shox to just take the hook, line, and sinker right down to the ocean floor. Didn't allow that to go any further. And so G2 are really putting it together now. Hellraiser's running out of money in a big, big way. And they're also losing all of their momentum.
Still goosebumps from that play. That is so smart. Hellraisers. I mean, Bondic in particular must be just shaking his head like, I got 4K, guys. What else do you want from me?
Especially since his team was like getting wrecked. They tried to take all these early battles at long A halls. They were missing all of them. They were really getting put in awkward space. And he bails them out only for Shox just to do that. I mean, that's probably one of the best clutches we've seen this entire tournament. And it comes right at the right time in the grand finals where his team was playing from behind and trying to scrape together, back together a good T-half, as now they'll look to just hit the speed bomb site.
Dead Fox in position though to spray, still has some bullets in the magazine. It's a 2-for-1 trade. Here comes the CZ, and Zero will connect the dots on this time of asking and survives. Interesting, Lovestico just goes for the sprint into the double doors. It may not end up mattering too much. As MBK now on a 1-on-3. What a shot that is onto Bondic. Partially through the doors, catches him, plucks him out the air. Maybe taking a bit of inspiration from Shox, but unfortunately it was a bridge too far. Hellraisers will be playing the last round at a 9-5 lead. So
finally a response from Hellraisers, right? They've had a tough time here in the latter parts of this first half. They put one more through, so they will get that 9th round on the board and keep their CT side in still really good shape, especially if they can win this last round. A 10-5 half from their CT. Well done, you know, to contain a G2 team to 5 rounds. Well, of course, we still have G2 able to scrape together something here. A couple Tech 9s, and they're going to take things fast again with Shox. He's looking to hunt people down right away. Gets caught, though. Great play from Dead Fox. He's had a nice couple of opening kills here on this B site.
Oh, then he very nearly line up for Bondic. That crouch peek really wrecked him in the end. Still, though, just going even blow for blow body. Well, they're going to put a punch in that's too much for Zero to deal with. Down he goes to the canvas. The last time in this half. Kenny S, Apex, body. Moving together for the time being. Stico's going to get up close and personal with the FAMAS and lands the headshot onto body. Spins around and was so close to taking down Apex. That would have been disgusting. Instead, Angel will be maneuvering his way in to clutch this 1-on-2. Apex, 23 health. Will be getting the plant onto A. He knows where Angel is, and Angel's about to find out exactly where Apex has gone. Now, he doesn't have a HE or a Molotov, but he does have plenty of utility to try and force his way onto the site. And Apex going all the way around towards mid.
Yeah, he definitely planted in an open spot where he could really be playing from anywhere. It means Angel has a lot to worry about. Well, the timing couldn't have been better. I mean, literally, if Apex waits a bit longer and Angel, you know, sees that's clear and keeps going, that plays so different. Again, a game that could come down to milliseconds at times. And so, thankfully for Angel, it plays in his favor. He's going to get those 10 rounds for Hellraiser. So, a well-done CT side, a hot start, great recovery from G2, but Hellraisers put down a couple of more there towards the end to maintain a solid lead. And so this is good stuff from Hellraiser, starting to become alive in this best of 3 in these grand finals.
For Apex there, I mean, if Angel goes up on balcony, probably wins the round. If Angel checks like long or stables instead of going down into mid, probably wins the round. It's just one of those things, as you say, it's the roll of the dice. And Apex came out second best, and he had to go for an audacious play like that because he was so far behind on HP. You know, 1 bullet and he's dead. 10-5 though, this is much more what we were looking for.
It's one of those things where he played that perfectly, really. I mean, I think he did everything right. He just happened to get caught. It's one of those things that can happen. Just the timings did not work in his favor. But we still have a lot of time left in this map. G2 could still make that comeback. Their CT side can be quite powerful, especially the form that their players have been in, particularly Apex. One of those guys is going to be really key in defending the A side of the map. If he keeps it up, it's going to be hard for Hellraiser to find opportunities there. Obviously, you think about Kenny S' op all across the map, and then Shox just being that bedrock over on the B side. So you're going up against a lot of firepower on your T side if you're Hellraiser. So let's see what they got as we get this pistol round live in the second half.
Keep in mind, too, that until the last map, we'll hold the phone for a second. Angel's just going to drive straight by and land the frag. But keep in mind that up until that last map, Hellraisers hadn't lost a single one. Angel with another kill. He's going to come straight through with the USP. And now it's up to NBK, but Sticko, he's not going to allow him to shine. Puts the blinders on. Body up in balcony. That's a beautiful first one tap, but he's probably not going to get anything else. Especially considering that his partner in crime of Shox has gone down. What? Body gets absolutely dumpstered. And that's two of the nicest one taps you're going to see. Back to back. Exquisite plays by Body. And with Dead Fox being so low, if he does go for a peek, he likely will die. And then we're down into a one-on-one. Body still has the time to pull this off. He's landed the headshot. And now he's going to go straight for long. He realizes where the last player may be. Now it just comes down to pure timing. He's going to tickle the bomb. There's no way of Hellraisers knowing if he has a kit or not. And it is going to be the round to Hellraisers. But I've got to say, NT Body, that was nearly incredible.
Yeah, he really almost brought that one back. Some really nice shots. If he had a kit, you'd fancy his chances there, actually, the way he was hitting heads. But it will be a round for Hellraisers. Really off the back of some great entries by Angel. He really put in some key frags. And so Hellraisers will continue to hold G2 off for now, but of course we will see a buy-up from G2, including a UMP on Body. He got a lot of money out of that round, so why not?
You want to be careful when you come up against a wild Apex on A long with a 5-7. Many teams have tried and many teams have failed in that scenario. But they do get a 1-for-1 trade. UMP still in the hands of Body, of course, alongside the Kevlars and Pistols. Kenny S with a last buy, of course. Let's get that up as soon as possible. And Hellraiser starting to make a move towards the B side of the map.
And you see them shuffling over here. Everyone going to be coming out along. No presence anywhere else. They do leave one player behind, actually, at drop-down room. So maybe for a late flank, but this boosted position can be tricky to deal with.
Body up close and personal. 25 bullets in the magazine. How many of them are going to connect? Just one required. Kenny S is going to help him out, and Body goes in for yet another one. Sticko's still alive and kicking, but not for much longer. Again, G2 break the hearts of Hellraisers. Great performance by Body.
Really well done. He put that UMP to work up close on the broken wall. Perfect weapon for a scenario like that, and absolutely delivers. Kenny S also chiming in. Sticko, in the meantime, from drop-down room, couldn't find anything with his own UMP. And so a round comes a bit early here for G2. Hellraisers will force buy back into this here with some upgraded pistols and armor. Dead Fox, of course, taking things a bit lighter. They will again have that boosted tree position perhaps put into play. Body jumped off of it last time, making the reads, and it paid off. As Hellraisers will take things fairly slow.
Yeah, slowing the pace right down. That nade looked like it could do a whole bunch of damage. It actually does nothing. Landing behind both of the aggressing terrorists up in drop. Meanwhile, Hellraisers still have some impact over on the middle side of the map. They're going to make sure there's no rotation around the back of them. But again, G2 have the pressure completely off their shoulders. They know they have the firepower advantage. Effectively say, come out as bros, you've got to get the bomb planted. We've got great setups here, great crossfires. Very passive plays on A as well, not having anyone in mid or in long. Hellraiser's going to have to brute force their way through onto this site if they want to win this round. And that's exactly what they're looking to do through drop. NBK, not only with the kill, but the bomb also dropping by his side and is able to just turn tail, run away. The crossfire is on point. G2 with yet another one.
Yeah, so they've started to make that comeback effort early thanks to some big plays by Body with the UMP. Obviously, NBK a big part of that as well, guarding down that window, not allowing any type of connector split to come to fruition. And now Hellraisers have to just fully save to make sure they get a full buy in the next round. So just Glocks. This should be pretty much a mop-up for G2 at this point.
Yeah, find ourselves in this position so many times when casting T-sides in this scenario. Bomb plant is pretty much the best case scenario with full Glocks. Even then, that's asking a lot. Especially a map like Cobblestone. If we're looking at Train, then it's a lot more doable. Cobblestone really not in the same ballpark. And there we go, Kenny S from downtown. Lands the dunk nade onto Angel. Lands in his pocket. Kenny S is going to see a lot of action in mid with his Tech 9. Is able to get himself two. Not quite a third. But Apex will do the rest from danger. Being tagged up from the backside is the Glock versus the M4. The assault rifle, of course, will come out on top. And they have now bridged that gap to just 3 rounds, 11-8.
Yeah, so that big lead that Hellraisers had is all but withered away at this point, and G2 now right on their heels, but we will see Hellraisers off to a full buy this round. They saved up for this, have everything that they could want, and they're a team that, you know, again, can really do good at changing pace. They can play slow defaults, they can do faster stuff on B. They also have a lot of those threat smoke setups on this map, you know, different smokes from middle to B, to try to, you know, throw fakes or to go for the actual full B execute or to split connector with the smoke down at the doorway that you can throw from mid. So they definitely have a lot of different things they can go to. They developed a lot on this map over the last few months. So that means that they can throw a lot of different stuff at G2, make it difficult to be read. But it all starts here.
Smooth move there for Stickbolt, jumping up on the box like that. Doesn't really get anything done as the B-long push wasn't coming to fruition. And a position that Zero was using in the alcove was quickly mollied off when the roles were reversed, and I expect more of the same for Hellraiser. They've got 4 Molotovs. There's no reason not to throw one on Shocks here. Just to make sure they don't have to worry about that angle if they do decide to push through B-long.
Yeah, also can use it to clear out tree as well, which Body is playing on top of, so they can definitely force him down if he's not already going to drop down on his own. Oh, the smokes, though, extinguishing all that fire. So now they didn't get the clear that they wanted. Now they have to fight for it.
That's really significant, especially if they start to push through on B-long. And now Shocks, who's not been forced out of position, they may be baited into thinking that he's not here anymore. And with Body also turning it up elsewhere on the map, Shocks can now just turn tail and run. He thought someone was through the smoke. You can understand that decision. Again, it comes down to that 50-50. And he guesses incorrectly. Still his team maintain a player advantage.
Indeed they do. There's only a little bit of time left on the clock as well for Hellraisers to make a decision. Looks like they are just going to go ahead and commit to B, but they're trying to throw that sense of doubt in. Maybe force a rotation or two by taking their time, but to no avail. They'll just have to brute force their way in.
Apex back his statue is doing what he can, and that is more than enough with Kenny S's help. Further yet, the round buffer diminishes from a 7-0 at one point, just 2 rounds shy now at 11-9 behind.
Now, outside of losing the pistol in this half, G2's been up to the task in every other round. That's 4 in a row now for them. And as you noted, just 2 away from tying this thing up. And again, money low on Hellraisers, as it's essentially another really heavy Glock round. I mean, never mind, we do see a couple of late upgraded pistol buys, but still very little armor, no utility. This should be an easy round.
Hellraisers on the brink of conceding a 5th. Very little to play with in this round. Kevlar for Bondic and a Tech 9. It is enough to cause nightmares. Angel with a Deagle is going to open his account in round 21 with a kill onto Apex. Again, a huge kill. And he's got an AK too.
Yeah, forces some rotates as well. That pulls the rotator actually into door, so that means he's a little bit further from B, which is where a lot of the numbers are gathered up at. But they're going to see if Angel can't go to work a bit more with this AK. See if he can't find any more out of this. He could pull even more rotates, do even more damage. Shocks, will he worry about that? That's going to be the big question. Sticko can definitely surprise him. It looks like he just will back out of there, so it won't have an effect.
MBK steps up onto B-long. Time ticking down. Pressure going to start to mount. Angel, who was given the mission of seek and destroy, hasn't really yielded much since that one dig. NBK is going to see action. He's been tagged down and will get fragged as well. Could this be the dream for Hellraisers coming back into this? It's an AWP and it's an M4, but more importantly, it's Kenny S, and he's going to come through with 3 massive kills. Body picks up the rest. And when G2 have the pressure, Kenny S will alleviate it time and time again. and you can see the relief on the faces of G2.
Yeah, he deserves that shoulder rub. What a headshot hit on the platform there. That shot was crisp and clean. Exactly what you would want to bring this round back, because that did get scary. Angel was doing some great things over on the A side. They got a couple of pistol kills, but yeah, Kenny says, I'm having none of that. I want that trophy. I want that MVP title. He's definitely putting in the work to do it, but here comes the full buy from Hellraisers. A lot of presence over here towards middle, so again, they have a lot of different smoke setups they can throw from here. Try to keep G2 guessing where it's coming from.
Shox with the aggressive AWP peek up on B long side. Sticko not too far away, just a short throw of a Molotov will extinguish it instantly, and that's going to allow Shox to know his position. There's no way the smoke lands that quickly if he's on the long side of B plat. He's able to use that smoke to escape. Body will not take any prisoners as he goes in for two, and now Angel's going to make very much the same case for himself. Two plays through smoke, both get laid out. A 3-on-3 will ensue, and a rotation to boot, as Angel has connector control.
Do they realize one's still A? I don't think they do. So this could actually be really tricky now for Hellraisers, because this player's still holding long A control.
It's very true. If they don't watch their angles, it could cost them dearly. And again, it's Kenny S who's in fine form right now. If he sees a pixel, he will convert. Bomb planted, now knows exactly where to focus his attention. Sees the barrel of the gun stick through, will convert. And now the pressure mounting on the bomb itself. Dead Fox needs the man to deliver with the AWP. Up he goes. He will be missing his first opportunity. He may not get any more, or will he? Body is the next player to fall. Angel comes through with the AK headshot, leaving Kenny S in a horrible position, and it will be Hellraisers to pick up a second round on their T half.
Really well done. They did one of those smoke setups I was talking about. There's a smoke you can throw from middle that lands in that connector doorway, and it really messes with the heads of the CT side, because they don't know if that's just a standard smoke for an A execute. But since you're throwing it from mid, you're so close to B when you do it that it allows you to put pressure there immediately and really make the CT scramble. It allows Angel to slip up mid and just cause so much chaos. He gets so many kills in this round. He winds up sealing it out in what is a huge solo effort. And so again, that's just kind of showing you what Hellraisers has in that playbook. It can be difficult to deal with, and so they hold off G2.
Apex gonna trade Molotovs on long. Get a chunk to multiple players. Gonna go for a flash behind it just to make sure no one's up close. Now a smoke, he's wasting a bunch of time on long. The downside of that is he's expended the majority of his utility in the process. In fact, all of it to be precise. Also threw a flash in there and amongst the mix. So in doing so, he knows he has no more power plays in long A. He has to pull back. That is going to give up some real estate to Hellraisers.
And they do rotate a third player over here on G2, though, so they have a pretty stout defense if they hold this pattern. But again, since they have no real information now on what's going on, they've had to back off a bit. They're just looking for sound cues. They still have one person pushed mid-slope, actually, so you may be hearing them falling back. And that may help free up the rotations a bit for G2. Because again, not really sure where Hellraisers want to take this quite yet. Bomb's still kind of floating around. So Hellraisers are definitely using all the time to their advantage to try to work things through, see what's going to be the best option.
Shock's not far off on that spray. Zero. Did he actually get knifed there?
He did.
I think it was a panic knife, and suddenly Apex realized, oh my god, there's a player in my face. Kenny S, once again, is picking up the kills where it counts, but although he goes down, Zero used his ammunition to take out Kenny S along NBK, the freedom to return fire and return the favor. Body and Shox make that just Shox, as he's going to be coming through on the murder hole side. The positions looking tenuous for Hellraisers, as now Shox has picked himself up one kill, looking for a second. You don't want to duel with Shox. He's a player that will rip your head off, and Bondit goes peeking one too many times, and G2 will punish.
Another big clutch from Shox. It's a 1v2 in a tough spot. He, of course, had the 1v2 as well on the T side that we were highlighting. So, yeah, again, just showing you the full spectrum of what he can accomplish. He can open things up, and he can also be the closer. Now, it's definitely a round that looked like Hellraisers were going to take. They've been putting together some good T rounds once they've been able to get weapons in their hands, but it's just been an individual effort here that shuts it down. And so once again, G2 are one round away from tying this thing up. And it's going to be the timeout coming from Hellraisers as well because of it. That's the response.
Understandable. They have lost so many clutch scenarios. I mean, had they have converted them, they'd have already won this map, thus. We'd already be looking at Train. We'd be up on the next map. We'd be casting the all-deciding part of this best of 3. Instead, G2 are just one round behind, and Hellraisers have a huge task ahead of them. Sure, they have the round advantage, but the momentum is certainly working against them.
I mean, Hellraisers are playing a good cobblestone here. It's night and day from Cash. They really did excellent on CT side to get 10 rounds. I mean, that's well done. Their money got thrown for a loop thanks to those early rounds that G2 bought in the second and third and won those and really got the money in disarray for Hellraisers. Since they've been able to make purchases, they're constructing good rounds. Again, they just fall prey to Shock's clutching. But now they'll be able to kind of think things through a bit, maybe even just calm down a bit. Losing a big round like that definitely can hurt when you feel like you've done everything right and you still lose. So this might even be just a timeout to just take a bit of a breather.
I mean, that last clutch, it definitely did seem like Hellraisers panicked, or they just had lack of cohesion. I mean, you had two players in separate positions. If Door gets peaked, it is going to be two separate 1v1s they have to contend with. And the first player that Shox kills is on the wrong side of the wall. He wants to get in mid. He's just completely out in the open for a free kill.
Well, I think what happened there is Hellraisers almost ran out of time to plant the bomb. So I think a lot of people were scrambling to find post-plant positions because they were really focused on making sure they got the bomb down in time, because it came down to the last couple of seconds. So when you're scrambling just to make sure that you can extend the round because the clock is against you, that definitely can throw in a sense of panic, as you noted. But now we're right back into it. Off the back of the timeouts, we'll see if G2 can tie things up, or whether or not Hellraisers can fend them off once more. As Kenny's look to get aggressive there to try to find an opening pick. Doesn't pay off. Takes a lot of damage in the process, actually.
Was trying to balance the risk versus reward. It wasn't too far off the flick. Shows the confidence that is currently surging through him. Because as you highlighted, that is quite the risk. You know, if Kenny S gets burned off the Molotov, one stray bullet ends his life, there's your star AWPer dead and buried. Things start to get a bit hairy from there on in. He's okay. A lot of maybes, ifs, and buts. The fact is, all 10 players remain on the server, and bomb control the way of Hellraisers as they look to maneuver their way over onto the A side of the map.
It's one of those rounds where their options are a bit limited because they don't have as much firepower, they don't have that much utility, so throwing more complex tactics or doing fakes is not really an option. It's one of those things where you have to gather up for one good go at it, and then even having nades for post plants to hold off retakes is not in your arsenal if you waste a lot just trying to execute. So they really have to think things through and make the most out of very little.
Timing on point for Apex, throws a smoke out just as the player was looking to push. Kenny's missed his chance, but Apex, once again, is just going to be spraying players down. That timeout has not proved to be a success. Apex with a third, 12-12. We are all even, and Hellraisers put everything into that round in terms of their finances.
Apex just finds the timing to be able to hold off the mid-slope push and still get around to make sure that long A player can't push him back. That guy would have been a bit faster. Apex only gets one kill there. So again, a round that came down to just timing, that Apex gets here quick enough on that angle to hold off Angel. And so they will tie up the game, and now they have a chance to take the lead, which they've yet to have this game.
That is a good point. They went 7-0 behind in the early stages, and Shox puts them one step closer to landing on that mark. Kenny S does miss. Wasn't the easiest of shots, though. We'll be calling out that mid has seen a whole bunch of terrorists moving into position. Kenny S won't miss on the second time. Bomb dropped out, is salvageable, but that nade has damage written all over it as it chucks two players down so incredibly low. And now it's just a case of cleaning up the mess. G2 take the lead.
Yeah, you could see they're hungry to finish this thing off as they just charge down the mid-slope, chasing after that dropped bomb. Not giving any time for Hellraisers to back away as they do have their first lead in this map. Again, they're already up 1-0 after a huge win on Cash. They're trying to see if they can't put this grand finals away in 2 on home soil. Give something for that French crowd to cheer about and get their first title as a team. But Hellraisers, they still have some fight in them here. They have a great buy here, with the exception of the utility being a bit low. Will they change the pace? Are they going to speed things up? It looks likely. Some good counter nades, though, from G2 to kind of bog them down.
MBK is about to see a whole bunch of action. 2 kills from that position would have been disgraceful for Hellraisers, but they are able to remedy the situation. Now, Shox has been here before. Last time he did come out all guns blazing and picked himself up a kill. He's able to relocate, and that flash actually hit both of his assailants. Unfortunately, from his perspective, Sticko decides to push the smoke and will extinguish life of Shox. G2, not out of the woods just yet. They are going to go back to even, more than likely at 13 apiece. It's all on Apex, and the bomb about to get planted on B. So another couple chapters left in this story yet, Dust.
Yeah, it's probably the heaviest we've seen Hellraisers hit drop-down room this half, and it pays off. They trade 1 for 1. Don't allow Shox to get anything on the platform, so just really efficient trading over here on the B-bomb side. Hellraisers able to tie things right back up. And they do it clean as well, and that's great for them because money's obviously an issue. So being able to carry over 4 AKs is great news. So we have quite the game on our hands at this point here. So we hit the home stretch where so much is on the line. G2's victory is right there awaiting them. Just a few steps from the finish line, but Hellraisers a chance to see if they can't force that 3rd map.
Not far off now. And this game has overtime written all over it. They've just been going back and forth over these last couple of rounds. In terms of frags, in terms of the rounds as well, of course, and see the hyper-aggression by Zero. They're starting to free himself up and just go for broke.
It's probably the most important kill of the round.
XM purchased by MBK. We saw this earlier. We have seen it a couple of times. Kenny S not far off, and Apex will deliver. We've seen this crossfire, this firing squad set up a few times. A 1 for 1, though, puts a lot of pressure on Kenny, and he is going to deliver. Bondic moves into position, taken out instantly, ahead of the rest of his team. They weren't pushing in a 2-pronged attack. That was all a tunnel vision approach. The red mist descended, and it put him out of his own misery. Kenny has to extinguish the Molotov and come back to the site. And Hellraisers haven't quite pulled the trigger on this A hit just yet. There is so much time left. And Kenny S with a flick onto Dead Fox, dropping the bomb out, and will be throwing in his utility on top of it. Still, though, Sticko and Zero are in amongst the thick of it. Kenny S, who's already gone for 2, will get a 3rd. What a shot onto Zero. Sticko now has to come round the back of balcony and hope he can pick off Kenny S, and it is not going to happen. And he's gonna hype the crowd as well. He's feeling it right now.
He's definitely feeling it. It's actually uncanny the way that Kenny S handles pressure. I mean, he's in such dangerous territory. When Apex goes down, he has to worry about being pushed long A. He has to worry about mid-slope, but he always is able just to kind of maneuver around that APC, always stay in just, you know, that small gap of safety, and then just rattle off all the kills with the AWP. That's a big round from him, and that could be G2 getting closer now to that victory. So we'll see a full buy from Hellraiser. They're looking to hit this B-bomb site fast, but again, the counter is from G2, slowing it down initially, but now here comes the execute.
Shocks the other AWP, laid in wait. Body from the hand of the AK is going to be ringing out another frag. Sticko's going to spray through into the chicken coop and does do significant damage to Shocks, but again, the bomb is dropped out in a horrible spot. Angel only good for 1. And Sticko in a 1-on-2 clutch coming through the drop side. He's gonna have Kenny S to contend with. And G2 have done it again. 2 championship points.
And that was basically their best chance to fight back. They put all their money into that, and now they've got nothing. Their money was just reset. It's gonna be so difficult to craft together a goodbye now. And that double op couldn't have come at a better time. Right when they go for a fast B, when you're sliding out of platform, and that op is gonna get probably that first pick for free, because there's not much you can do against it. And so they absolutely got shut down. Great play from G2. Now they're just 1 round away from taking that trophy. What can Hellraisers do in a low buy situation? This is their last ditch effort. They need 2 in a row to force an overtime.
This really is go big or go home, sink or swim, and Body's gonna get overrun by the Tech 9 train. Bondic arrives at the station just in time. Shox is going to burn to a crisp. 1 HP. He is still alive. But for how much longer? Not too much. Bondix there with the M4. And now it's up to Kenny S again. Gets nailed through the smoke. Apex in a 1-on-3. 11 health to his name. Gets picked off from the side. And Hellraisers will silence the crowd for a little bit longer. They're still in this.
Indeed they are. They weather the storm. They work a fast B and they break through. And so they're still alive. They fought for survival, and now they've made it to the 30th round. They could force the OT. Buy is a little bit limited for G2, actually. Max 7 on Apex can still be dangerous, obviously. The 2 UMPs still can find work, but Hellraisers have put themselves in a good position.
It's honestly, at this stage, Dust, more the lack of Kevlar and Kenny S, Apex, the lack of utility that's worrying me. Not necessarily the UMPs or the Mag 7, because we know how strong they are with these kind of weaponry.
But let's take into account the position that Apex has here. He is boosted. He hasn't used it yet this game. No one has. And so this late in the game, are you really going to expect that? And the bomb's drifting by A, and Kenny S is baiting so well by getting that initial kill.
I mean, he's going to be up mid, though. Kenny misses. With the lack of Kevlar, that could be a brutal punch. Sticko, meanwhile, on the B side, is going to clean it out. The downside is that a lot of terrorists have already committed to coming out of mid, and the bomb has been dropped out there for us. So all for Sticko's greatness, it doesn't matter. G2 are running amok through mid. Sticko, minimal health.
Oh, no.
Has now got a clutch after doing so much work on the opposite side of the map. Kenny S switches to his knife. But surely he saw that. Yep, going to be flashing in to make sure he doesn't get charged out. This would be one hell of a clutch. Sticko has time to move in. But you feel like one bullet will end his life and give G2 this win. But look at that. He's just going to spam straight through onto Kenny. Looking for a second one. Lands it, Sticko. Are you really going to pull this one off against Apex now? Apex is playing the time. Forcing Sticko's hand to pick this bomb up and put himself in harm's way by pushing across to A. Only 10 seconds remain, and Apex is gonna nail it! G2 have done it, they are your champions of Dreamhack Tour 2017.
Sticko tried his damnedest there. He was so close, but it just wasn't close enough. That bomb got dropped and that killed everything, and so G2, they do it. 16-14 on Kabul. It went the distance. A great effort from Hellraiser. It's a great tournament, but G2 just too strong on home soil, and they will get that title.
What a map to finish things on, too. It started so well for Hellraisers with a 7-0 lead. They finished the first half at 10-5, and then from there on out, it was all G2. A lot of respect shown between the two teams. Kenny S had a blinder of a cobblestone. He was untouchable at times. And G2 have done it. The crowd are loving this. Hellraiser will be disappointed. And G2 now in prime position to lift that trophy and make things official. Apex, MBK, Shox, all look relieved, all look happy. Kenny S, of course, now alongside with Body. Nesmith. Here are your champions of Dreamhack Tour 2017. It's G2.
Nathan, MBK, I wanted to stand in with your team and just have a chat with me very quickly. They're taking it back, though. They're taking the cup. Firstly, this crowd, look at this. This is like incredible noise that these guys have been making. Like, how much does this mean to you and the boys to win here in front of this home crowd?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the only tournaments we're going to have in France, and probably maybe for the next year. And yeah, we come here, we win. it's just amazing winning in front of your home crowd.
You guys really are the kings of France now after winning this. What's next for you and the G2 team?
Back to practice. I mean, that's a bit irrational, but now, yeah, we're just gonna relax, back to practice, and yeah, very, very simple.
But first we got to throw. That's fine. You go. You throw some stuff out, mate. Kenny S is having fun. He's having the time of his life. Do you want to give some last words to this your home French crowd? They're too busy catching things, but hey guys.
Alors merci encore une fois d'être venu. Après le premier match, je vous ai promis qu'on soit là jusqu'à la fin. On l'a fait. Donc voilà, cette victoire, elle est partagée avec tout le monde. Vous nous avez aidés dans les moments qui étaient durs en match. Vous nous avez aidés quand on a gagné. Donc merci. Merci, à la prochaine.
An absolutely amazing crowd here, and you know, congratulations. Absolutely incredible scenes from you guys. Really, really well played. You are our grand final champions here at Dreamhack Astro Open in Tour. One more thing.
Et s'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît.
Ok, et une dernière chose. J'aimerais aussi qu'on dise bravo à HR qui ont fait un beau parcours, qui sont arrivés en finale. Et c'était un très beau match.
Yeah, commiserations to Hellraisers. I will hand it back. Congratulations, you are our winners. I'll hand it back to Parla at the desk to summarize that entire great 3 days of CS.
James, that energy is infectious. MBK there with a wonderful winning interview, and I don't think, Natu and Pimp, that the story could have been written any more perfect. French team, arguably the best out there, and a team that is supposed to be overall in the CSGO scene a super team, winning on their home soil here at the Dreamhack Astro Open in Tour France. That crowd is amazing. They're still there now, supporting the guys on stage. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for being here and just giving us such a great atmosphere, and everybody online as well. Like, you guys have been amazing. Now, let's do a little wrap-up of exactly what we've just seen. It was 2 maps, and it was really, really fun to watch.
It definitely was, and I thought it was all over after G2 picked up cash, but Hellraiser just shown a lot of resilience there, getting it back into it, especially in the first half. I thought, you know, we gave a bit of critique that Hellraiser probably won't be great on Cobble CT side specifically, because just a matter of the fact that it doesn't seem like it suits them as well. But they really showed us off. I thought they actually had a pretty prominent CT side, and then effectively so did G2. And individual, if you want to pick individuals, is Kenny and Body that really step up.
Yes!
Can't forget.
He's surfing the crowd. Sorry, Natu. I apologize.
Oh, you can take it out. You can take it away, Paula.
No. It's just, dude, this is such a moment. You know, these guys love their fans. They love being here, and they're doing such a good job. Just like you are, Natu. Sorry. Continue.
No, I think we should enjoy the crowd surfing. This is something phenomenal. You will analyze this, Jacob?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I could only wish that as a player myself, so that's cool.
Yeah, that is actually, he's embracing it. I think that's all that needs to be said.
His next tournament in Denmark, is that fit?
I'm gonna surf the crowd.
Is that gonna be you?
Yeah, for sure. Even if we lose, I'm just gonna try again.
No, I love the fact that, straying away from the details of the match before we get into the statistics, I love the way that Kenny was out on stage jumping up and down, and then, of course, he surfed the crowd. But he got out his phone and started recording, and where do you think that's gone? Twitter, Snapchat? We need to see that video, see that from his perspective. Oh, yeah. No, really, this is so infectious.
Round of applause for that, boys.
Time.
I think that's a round of applause.
No doubt, no doubt. They deserve all the applause they're getting as well. But yeah, let's go back into that Pimp. What are your thoughts on how that played out? Because it looked like G2, that first map was a very strong showing from them. Cobble was a lot closer. Stico almost there on the Hellraiser side of things, taking it into overtime, but not, unfortunately, doing it for the Hellraiser in the end. And it was Apex that brought that to the victory.
Yeah,
for G2.
Yeah, I think Cobble was a great match to watch. Hellraiser was playing well throughout the game. G2 got a bad start. They got after it, especially Kines. I think he was at one point, he was 6-14 or something, scoreline-wise, and he ended up being the top fragger with 29 frags, you know. He had an immense CT half. That was, like, insane how he pulled that back.
Yeah.
They would have lost Cobblestone, wouldn't have been for Kines going absolutely crazy. So I totally understand why he feels surfing the crowd right now, because that was an insane game for him, and, like, he's home in France and he's pulling it off.
And once again, it was a great job from, like you said, Kenny and Apex on the A bomb side to take this out. I thought they managed to stay alive long enough each and every time, pretty much, meaning that they never got into a situation Hellraisers did where they would have had the man advantage going to that bomb site. They couldn't able to get onto the bomb site, being up in numbers, and therefore it was just surely because of Kenny and Apex playing as they did.
They surely know how to celebrate a victory.
I can't tell if we're seeing a replay of what they did straight after the win, or if this is going on right now. The party does not stop, apparently, Natu.
No, where's the champagne? That's the only thing we're missing here right now.
Yeah, I think we should maybe get a bottle for them. They can spray it. It'll be like Formula One. It's like, this is really like quite a celebration, but they can take as long as they want. The fans want it too, and this is what Counter-Strike is all about. You know, these guys have worked so hard for so long, and when you get those championships, what's it like?
I wouldn't know.
Kim.
I wouldn't know.
All right, let's pass it over to Natu.
It's a certain emptiness you feel like. You know, you've gone through, you've fought, you've practiced, spent so much time playing, and then you finally win something that really matters to you, and it's that certain emptiness that really gets into you in a positive way. Yeah, I mean, then afterwards you get home and you feel the hunger for more.
Yeah, I've been close a few times, but I never got to feel the relief that you described, right? But I can only imagine how great it must feel. You put in so much time in practice, you put in like everything into this game, and winning is what these guys are here for.
Well, should we take a look at the statistics from that match and see how the players did piece for piece, and see who stood out, who didn't really achieve what they should. So we'll get that up on screen and make sure that you guys are all informed. I mean, who were the standouts for you off the top of your head right now?
Kenny, I thought, was phenomenal, especially on Cobble, and well, on Cash as well. He was all over the place as well. And I thought Apex actually really rose to the occasion finally in this tournament. He was a bit, I don't know, he wasn't really in the limelight for most of it, but he came in, especially on Cash. I pointed out after that Cash game that he was super good on the rotations, just diving into smokes when his teammate needed it to happen, getting double kills to stop the final push into the bomb site to keep the numbers even or in their advantage into a possible afterplan situation. So, you know, I've got to give credit to him.
He played one hell of a game, for sure. So did Kenny, as we said. So did Buddy, for an example. Like, he is, we talked about him before the game, being the hidden gem, and I feel like he kind of lived up to that role in this game. He was solid throughout the game. He made the frags that was needed from him, and he literally played out his support role to perfection, you know, and that's why he's on this team, you know. I know he's not a superstar. He's not Scream, who was talked about joining this team, but he's literally being the guy that they want him to be right now.
And he plays such, like, under pressure positions a lot of the times as well, being alone or having to delay the opponents as far as possible to make it for his teammates to be able to rotate back. So, yeah, definitely among that list.
Well, sorry,
no, it's just an amazing performance from Buddy.
Yeah, well, I was just going to quickly interject and say the statistics are on screen now. It was Kenny S dropping 52 across those two maps, followed by Apex, and also a very strong showing from Body, who's been consistent over the whole event. I mean, by no means, the Hellraiser, I feel like they've done a very good job of spreading the weight throughout this tournament. They do have standout performances here and there from certain players, but in general, they're very good at working together as a team. However, they didn't have the tools at their disposal this time to make it happen. Where are we overall in the arc of the story of G2?
This is I guess, you know, a great way for them to build confidence. I think it's something that is a fact for a team, that you need to have those winning moments. That's what are your building blocks in becoming a better team, because like we've been saying here, it's a process to be able to fight for that top 5, top 3, even best team in the world kind of status. So you could come here, win this tournament, obviously having a rough start as well, like they did in Austin as well, but this time around they managed to win the tournament in the end. That's the kind of a, I guess, learning process, you know, for the team to go further. And like MBK was saying, you know, it's back to the drawing board, back to scrimming, back to practicing. That's what they need to do. But yeah, this is the kind of experiences they need in order to progress.
Yeah, it seems like they have a very, very healthy learning curve, as Nato was in on. Like, they started out very poorly. When they would just form the team, they had some rough online games. No, it's just online, but they didn't start out as this superior team as they were supposed to be. So they had to figure that out in the beginning, and it seems like they're getting better week by week, day by day. Every match they play, it seems like they're figuring new stuff out. You know, it's just a healthy learning curve for a team like G2. If they want to be the best team in the world, you know, you got to start somewhere.
Pimp, Natu. Now, the teams came here to win the tournament. You know, you have 5 people on your team. You've got to work together to make it work. But the players also came here to prove that they are the best individually. And we have an award for that. We've had, over the past 2 days, 2 King Arthur Kings of the Day. That movie will be in theaters very soon. However, today, on the 3rd and final day, we have a King of the Tournament. It's been a close-fought battle, but we have decided who it is. Well, you guys have. Natu and Pimp, would you like to go ahead and announce who it is?
I can quickly say the contenders for it as
yes,
well.
Indeed.
Shazam was definitely on the table. He was phenomenal for his team. So is Kenny. He could have arguably been the MVP, but we've decided to go with Buddy because he's overall throughout the tournament just been very, very stable. He's been bringing numbers game after game after game after game, and I think he deserves to get that recognition.
He's been so solid, and he has, as we always said, he has the support role. He has a hard role, he has the high-pressure situation roles, especially on the CT side, and he managed to come in on this team as like the least favored guy, I guess you could say. So many people out there are probably mad that Scream wasn't the guy brought into this team, but it doesn't really matter when you have a guy like Buddy. Like, he is a solid block in a G2 fundament that is looking so strong.
Almost 200 kills over the entirety of the tournament, and 106 of those were headshots. Pretty nice percentage, if you ask me. Now, from my perspective, we did have this. Of course, it's Natu and Pimp, the guys with the knowledge that decide this stuff ultimately. But from my perspective, and what we kind of agreed upon, is that that's a team of what we thought was 4 all-star players, superstars, right? This is the French super team. And it's very hard to stand out as a player on any team like that. We've seen it in other rosters too. But over the course of his time playing with these guys, Buddy has shown us he can definitely hang, and he has those moments where that are almost pitch perfect, and that is extremely difficult to do. And I think it's very telling who was the first person to lift the trophy. They gave it to him. And so we give it to you too, Buddy. Congratulations to G2. I'm feeling absolutely ecstatic with how everything has gone. We've seen some amazing Counter-Strike. Any favorite moments?
What's the favorite moment for me? I mean, again, I guess we go back to what we saw. That I really liked to see Trick beating G2 in the Inferno game. It was definitely something we could say very surprising. But at the same time, from this game specifically, Shox's little jiggle move where he makes it seem like he's gone down drop instead.
That was stunning. That was so stunning.
Leaning against the wall, he goes from B long. Dead Fox is just concentrating towards the connector door / drop room with 7 seconds on the clock. The backseat gamer would say, why isn't he looking towards B long? You know, he needs to plant the bomb. But if he makes that sound, you know, in his head, he might have thought he's in drop. He just realized he ran out of time, so he's just waiting if he's coming for the kill. But yeah, I guess those are the ones that really stick out for me.
It's just such a telling story that Shox was at a rough tournament is able to pull something like that off, like in a pressure situation, right? It's just world class. To me, same. The trick upset was amazing. I think I wanna take it out of the game, and I just wanna see want to say that the crowd surfing by Kenny is my favorite.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling that. I'm all about the emotion and seeing these guys, you know, finally release all the tension, because it's hard to play at this level, very, very hard, and you have to take it so seriously. So when you can see these guys enjoying it, Natu, I mean, I'm sure you've been there.
Yeah, and also I want to see, crowd surfing all over the place.
I've heard that's your preferred method of travel. You just have people sort of like following you at all times, just carrying you. I think that's pretty feverish, wonderful.
No, but also I guess we should give some kudos to Shazam, who had the series of his lifetime, you know. I mean, he was phenomenal against Na'Vi, and you know, it definitely paid off.
Yeah, I mean, that Misfits team, a lot of promise there. That the new international style. Let's see if Devaduvek and Amanet can kind of like lift that team up. Tricked as well. Shout out to Denmark.
Great storylines. It's been a good weekend.
Overall, it's been an extremely good weekend, and now it's Monday here in France, and it's all over. And so thank you guys for being here. But firstly, before we do the thank yous to everyone, let me tell you a bit about what we have coming up next with Dreamhack, the schedule is absolutely packed. There's so much that you guys can get involved in all across the world. Let me list off some of the events. Up next, it's going to be Dreamhack Summer, of course, a staple in the esports scene, almost has a cult following. And then after that, it is Valencia, Atlanta, Montreal. We're going over to Canada as well, Denver, and then there's winter at the end of the year. And spun in between all of that in September, it is going to be the 3rd Dreamhack Masters in Malmö in Sweden. I can't wait for that one. Last year, that was one of the best events.
Yeah, agreed. It was a phenomenal event, for sure.
Yeah, and these events simply would not be possible without our amazing sponsors. So a huge thank you and shout out to Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, and Zowie. And everybody, we are done here. Thank you to our analyst, Jacob. Did you have a good time doing your first desk as talent as opposed to just coming here when your team lose?
Yeah, it happens a lot, right? But yeah, I really enjoyed myself. It was fun. You know, it's different. It's great to see the other side of the table. You know, we as players often whine about like you guys because you say sometimes stupid stuff or something we don't agree on, but I can see it's hard for us as well to say the right things all the time, right?
And the first to come in, well, apart from the production, we love you guys. You're crazy. But yeah, we're almost the first to come in and almost the last to leave this place, right? So long days, but we all love it.
It's been an absolute blast, and thank you to Natu. Happy birthday again, 23, man. You're younger than me.
See?
On you.
Beautiful. And
3 kids already.
yeah, exactly. And so
I'll be free by 50.
a huge shout out to James, who looked after the stage. Wonderful interviews. All of our casters, Metas, Dust, Harry, and of course Risk. So many people behind the scenes as well. Thank you to production. That'll be it from us, and we will see you next time.